I don't know how to write code. I never worked in the creator economy space before. It was like we started something out of thin air without any experience, without nothing. And I remember one of our first investor called Shannon, we literally went to dinner and I pitched him this idea. I think people would pay to talk to creators. And then I kind of draw something on a piece of literally a napkin at the restaurant. And he said, like, how much would you need to do this? I was like, 100,000. And he just said, yes. Let's go.
So do you have any advice for someone getting started in business, especially tech startups?
If you start believing in yourself in a way where you understand and know that anything is possible, you can achieve whatever you want. That's the truth.
What are some of the success stories from creators using FanStories?
So my favorite one is it's a couple, and before they joined FanStories, they weren't making money. They were really living kind of paycheck to paycheck. If I'm not mistaken, at the end of the year, they should be near earning $1 million on the platform.
Wow.
It's insane. It's amazing.
Do you think the great old classic American dream now includes being creator as well?
I think it's actually the dream job for sure. You start to see every business create content. There is a lot of new generation come into the industry. As they grow, they will want to create content too. So this is the beginning. It is the true beginning of it.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Welcome everyone to season 2 of Impulse, the Influencer Marketing Podcast. I'm your host Shubham Tiwari, Head of Content and Socials at Phyllo, the Universal API for Creator Data. Our guest today is a non-technical founder who, without any experience and connections in the creator economy, took his company to profitability this year. He is none other than the co-founder and CEO of FanStories, William Jourdain. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for the intro, Shubham. Really appreciate it. I'm super excited to be here.
The intro hasn't ended yet, by the way, because we need to talk about FanStories. FanStories is a platform for creators to monetize their influence through subscriptions, paid messages, exclusive content. So basically,
Yes.
creators can share exclusive content directly with their fans. Fans can chat exclusively with them. And all they have to do is just subscribe on FanStories.
Yes.
Yes.
That's exactly
Yeah.
the model.
Yes, and let me also, flaunt on William's behalf. They have like 280,000 monthly active users. Let that number sink in. They have like all-time user 3.4 million users with over 22 million visits. And to speak in terms of money, they have raised $100,000 with friends and family. So let's start there, William. Talk about this, the friends and family circle that supports you.
Yeah, so it's kind of a funny story of how we got started. I got fortunate enough to have some rich friends in the beginning, rich good friends that were making good money at that time. And I remember one of our first investor called Shannon, which is a really courageous guy, to be honest, because we literally went to dinner and I pitched him this idea and I told him, like, I think people would pay to talk to creators. And then I kind of draw something on a piece of literally a napkin at the restaurant because he didn't really understand what I was trying to tell him. And he said, like, how much would you need to do this? I was like, 100,000. And he just said, yes, let's go. And a couple of days later, he wired in, the money. We started to hire our first developers in order to build the MVP. And obviously, we didn't know if it's going to work or not because I've never done that in the past. I don't know how to write code. I've never written any line of code, to be honest. And I never worked in the creator economy space before. So it was like we started something out of thin air without any experience, without nothing. And through persistence, hard times, and we managed to go through. But yeah, that's kind of like the beginning.
Wonderful. That sounds like a plan. We all need, friends who are that trusting that they're giving us money without even hearing the entire plan. So
Yeah.
that's the blessing, I guess.
Yes.
So
that's the blessing.
So I want to come to, of course, FanStories. You had no experience in creator economy. You come from a non-technical background. I'll come to that later. But
Yeah.
then what inspired you to get into such an unknown territory, and what kind of things or what kind of problems you saw which you could solve with fan stories? So that's the basically the question. What did you saw in influencer marketing creator economy that you started fan stories?
Yeah, so the creator economy, we also called it the passion economy, right? Because creators usually live off their passions, and they happen to achieve incredible lifestyle. Not all of them, but lots of some of them that persist get to live an incredible lifestyle doing what they love. And since I was really young, uh, I will remember from my high school years, I always admired people that kind of like find a way to be loved by a lot of other people and be popular. I admired that. I wanted to be the coolest kid at school. It's like everyone can remember. I don't know at the school bus that the cool people were sitting at the back seat of the school bus,
Yeah.
and I wanted to be in that back seat. Now the cool kids today are the content creators. And what's a better way to work with these people and be part of that group and to feel, what they can feel? And that's one motivation. The other one is I always wanted to to have a startup and to live the startup journey. Obviously, I was not expecting how hard it is. I thought it was easier. It's a lot harder than we think. But combining these two passions, having a startup and then trying to get to work with content creators every day, uh, made me build fan stories. And the issue we are solving, basically, the issue we are constantly thinking about is how can we build sustainable income for content creators? Because most of the content creators rely on brand deals to make revenue, which is a super good way to make money, but it's really unstable.
Yep.
Some creators will get a brand deal from, Coca-Cola if they can get it. If most of them don't, but they will get a brand deal, and as soon as the opportunity is done, then they have to search for another deal and another deal and another, and it never ends. And everyone at some point needs some stability. Okay, no one can live off one contract that gives a lot
True.
of money,
Yeah.
but then it dries out. And the issue with content creators is that they are doing all of these things. They are doing marketing, content creation, editing. They are generating ideas. They're being creative. They're managing growth. They're like kind of running in a business, but the check is not certain the next month, and it's really difficult for most of them to get involved into some higher spending, like buying a house or investing. And this is where subscription to me felt the right thing. Obviously, there's a lot of other platforms
Yep.
that do the same thing out there, right? I can name a lot of them that does similar to what we do. But at the end, I think this is the right model to help creators because it allows them to have a more stable growth of revenue. They know that the next month the check is going to pay, it's going to come, and yeah, that's what we try to achieve to
Right.
fix.
So, William, in terms of the users of fan stories, they say that the subscription culture usually works better in the West, not in necessarily in the Southeast Asia or South Asia. So, do you have audience in these regions as well? Do you have a different plan for them? Are you looking to expand?
Yeah, so at the moment, most of our traffic comes from the United States, a
Yep.
little bit from Canada. We have from the Netherlands, Europe, Italy. Italy has a lot of opportunities. But obviously, we want to expand up for sure. But what we are having some difficulties at this point is countries that have lower income
Yep.
uh, will usually tend to make different decisions, buying decisions. And for some of these countries, they have less money to spare, on a creator
Absolutely.
than other countries, and that's why our focus is on, at this point, countries that have higher buying power.
Makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. Now coming to your startup story, because I was going through startup school course of Y Combinator earlier this year, and they
Yes.
talk about the importance of having a technical co-founder with you, right? They
Oh
just
yeah.
hammer that point over and over. So how did you manage to find one?
Yeah. So I thank God if Shao, my partner, is gonna watch this. Shao, I love you. You are the best of the best. But what I want to say is, and maybe this is my biggest achievement. One of my biggest achievement in FanStories was to find my partner when I needed it. And to give you kind of a background story of how this happens. So initially we raised 100K, right, in the beginning, and that 100K at some point kind of like got to an end, and I fall into a really weird position at that time because the company was not making money. The platform was, so sorry for the word, but it was shit. It was really,
First
really,
draft.
really bad. The platform was really bad. It was a shame. It was like, it was really bad. And I
Let,
didn't
let's
have
not
any
be, let's not be that brutal. Let's call it first draft.
first draft, a real first draft that where, and nothing works. A first draft that nothing works. Payment don't work. Users cannot sign in. Creators lose their, it was like really bad. But, um, and my developers was leaving the company, and we didn't have any money, so it was the worst time ever. So now, I thought like I need to find a partner. I really need to find someone to help me through this. But and then I needed to find someone that not only have the time, but that is technical, that is incredibly good, but that can invest either money, time, or resources in order to achieve our goals. And funny enough, I went on so YC, Subam, YC have like a matching service, like a Tinder.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Have you ever tried it?
Not yet. Not on that stage yet. But yeah, I
It's
know
really
about it.
good.
Yeah.
It's really good. So I went on there. I added some criterias, like I wanted someone that has no project, that's looking for a project, someone that has money that can invest or that can put time without demanding a salary, because I couldn't pay a salary. And I matched with Shao, and we matched, and I saw that he loved to play chess. He's a really good chess player, like I think 2000 level, which
Wow.
is, I don't know if you, yeah, 2000
I
is
follow
pretty
it.
high.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So so I connected with him. I said like, hey, let's go play a game of chess, and then we started to play chess. He literally destroyed me, and but yeah, we kind of like trust each other. I was like, man, this person, I knew, to be honest, the first time I saw him, I knew he was the one. So it
Wow.
wasn't like I need to do like multiple meetings and to do, no. I saw him once, I knew instantly he's the one, and yeah, finally, Shao has became so far our biggest investor. We have invested, you know, I don't want to say in the podcast how much because this is founder investment. It's not VC. But yeah, so he has been covering, investing resources, time, and now the platform is in a position to be able to afford to pay developers.
Right. It's a wonderful story, and it reminds me of that concept called Blink. I'm forgetting the author's name, where you just know, somebody's for you
Link?
within the first
Yes,
interaction. It's very fascinating
yes.
how these things work. But now coming to the platform itself, there are other players in the market like Patreon, OnlyFans, right? How do you differentiate, or let's say fundamentally, what differentiates fan stories from these two?
Yeah, so all of these platform have some kind of like special mix to it. I would say Patreon is really well built for YouTubers and long form videos. That's one of their strength. OnlyFans is kind of like an Instagram page, but that focus in the adult industry.
Yep.
They are really successful at it. They own 98% of the market, but they have a reputation that comes along, and all of these also focus on authenticity, where every creator have to interact by themselves and put time and energy and effort on every platform. Fan stories, on the other hand, we focus on short form video reels similar to TikTok. So again, different experience than Patreon and OnlyFans. We have creators from many genre, and almost none are adult content. So we try to keep a good reputation, and we focus on automation. A bit less about authenticity, but automation and through AI. So one of our really strong feature at this moment is that all of the interaction on FanStories, chatting, selling exclusive content, is all automated through AI, and this saves tremendous amount of time from the creator, because obviously what we think, and it's still a beta, so we're still learning from it. But what we think is that the creator are already flooded by messages on Instagram. They're already flooded by messages on any other platform. They want to use a platform like, let's say, Patreon, OnlyFans, or FanStories in order to monetize, but also automate a lot of what they don't have time to do. They're not looking for more DMs, definitely not. And they can use FanStories to share a relationship with their audience, but they don't have to do it. And the fans, they get pure entertainment, right? The fans knows that the AI can be activated, like the AI replica of the creator can be activated. We're not hiding it. They know, but it's entertaining because they can get to have instant reply. They can kind of talk with their creators instantly. While on other platform, the experience is pretty bad, right? The experience is like, if you send a message on, let's say, to a creator, you'll get a reply maybe in a week if
Yeah.
you're lucky.
If at all. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's our differentiator. Is it
Right.
is it still proven? I cannot say. It's still a beta, but yeah, that's what we think.
I love the word, automation when you used. You're essentially decluttering the lives of creators. You're helping them out
Yes.
in like time saving way, of course. So my question to you is: does a creator who's on Fan Stories need to be on Patreon as well, or they are good with Fan Stories?
100 of our creator, like almost 100% of our creator only use fan stories. We don't really have creators who cross promote any other platforms. We don't sign any exclusivity deals.
Yeah.
In our mind, if they switch platform, it means that the other platform is better, and we have to learn from the other platform rather than try to obligate them to stay with us. But
Right.
so far, our creators haven't quit. They stayed with us. They don't see benefit or in any interest in using other platforms,
Right.
which gives us a good signal.
Right. Speaking of learning from the use case of creators, what are some of the product updates or functionalities are you bringing to Fan Stories?
So right now we are really focusing on AI. That's
Okay.
one big focus that we have. We are also working on other like the ability to create bundles and to more ways for creators to monetize. We're trying to find tools for creators to monetize. We also see a lack among most of the other platform in discovery. They really lack discovery. If you go on Patreon, there's absolutely no way to discover new creators. If you go on OnlyFans,
Yeah.
same thing. If you go on many of these platforms, discovery is almost inexistent. So we are doing some work on trying to get our creator discovered throughout our platform, because obviously, like I said, we do have quite a bit of traffic,
Yeah.
and we try to get them some results without them having to actually uh, advertise the platform itself. So that's
Right.
another project we have.
Right. Now coming to the center piece of the puzzle, the creators.
Hmm.
What are some of the success stories from creators using Fan Stories?
Yes. So there's so my favorite one is it's a couple. She's called Chelsea DeVille and David Prince. David is a singer, and Chelsea is a comedian, and they do all sorts of comedy videos. They're really, really popular and loved by their audience. And before they joined FanStories, they uh, they they weren't making money. They were really living kind of paycheck to paycheck. They were doing some brand deals here and there, gaining $1,000 here, 1,000 there. Nothing really big. And this year, I think, if I'm not mistaken, at the end of the year, they should be near earning $1 million on the platform.
Wow,
Um, yeah, this it's
amazing.
insane. It's amazing. But this is spread on 2 years, like 2 to 3 years, like something like that. But
Yeah.
total $1 million in revenue on the platform, and they afforded to buy their first house
Wow.
this year, and they're just living the dream. And to me, this is why I this is why we build this at the end. It's to allow some of these people to change their life. And I think that story is a good proof that it's possible.
I'm happy that you use the word dream. I'll throw a curveball at you at this point. Do you think the great old classic American dream now includes being creator as well?
I think it's actually it's the dream job for sure. You start to see every business create content, every real estate agent create content, insurance brokers now create content. So everyone, no matter the age, the industry, uh, if you're in construction, people create content about building houses or building or just like doing some woodwork. People create content about everything. And if you look at the industry as a whole, there's only a small percentage of creator that creates content. The majority do not create content. And there is a lot of new generation come in to the industry that now lives and see their biggest models on YouTube.
Yep.
And as they grow, they will want to create content too. So this is the beginning. It is the true beginning of it. And the years to come are just going to be a lot better.
Right. Do you consider William Jordan a creator?
I try to be sometimes. I do create some videos. Obviously, if I get 30,000 views on one is the best I've got. But yeah, I would want to have a project to create more content within the next year for sure.
Yeah, you're definitely a creator. That was just a rhetoric question. People should find
Ah,
you on LinkedIn and every platform wherever you're there. So of course you're a creator. Uh,
yeah,
One question, William. When you told me about this, powerful creative couple who are doing
yeah,
amazing, one of the main problems of these platforms or social media platforms is that the top 3-4% creators earn let's say the 90% when it comes to ad revenue or brand deals. Is that kind of problem is that problem there at fan stories as well, or is that more democratic in a way?
yeah. So there's the I think it's called the
Pareto principle. Yeah,
parental principle.
yeah,
So yeah, we do have the same feeling. 20% bring 80% of the results. Um, and to be frank, and I've had discussions with other founder in my field, other people that have the same type of business than we do. It is incredibly difficult to understand literally what works and what not. We've had creators with almost 7, 8, 10 million followers. I'm thinking about one that joined FanStories who at some point 10 million followers, incredible amount of reach, but no engagement, no results, no
right.
revenue. And for me, that felt like an an impossible equation. Why would some creator with 30,000 followers make more money on our platform than someone with 10 million.
Yeah,
It's there's not a direct correlation here, and this is the tricky part is to understand what works and what not, and is really difficult amongst creator because what we think is there is a lot of inflated numbers in the industry. There is a
right.
lot of numbers that are either faked or the likes are inflated, the comments are from pods or like from some kind of engagement pods. There's a lot of inflated results, revenue, and to mitigate this is a challenge, but yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a challenge. But for now, let's look at the future. Let's wear our oracle hat. How do
Yes.
you think the creator economy is being transformed in correspondence with direct fan support, which you're doing, versus brand collaborations? What is going on there?
So according to brand collaboration, I do see kind of like a dent in the market, an opportunity that no one is like really building, or I haven't seen anything that's really servicing. Everyone for brand collaboration, everyone seems to be building for the one time brand deals, like to pay for one post or to pay for one ad. But no one seems to be building um, for sponsors, like monthly sponsors. I'll give you an example. If you
Yeah,
watch a sports team like F1, Formula One, I'm a big fan of Formula One.
yeah,
On the cars, there are logos, and these people pay a monthly fee to get, or a yearly fee. I'm not so sure, but they pay like something more sustainable,
FTO.
more
Yeah,
long term. Yeah.
yeah,
But no platform seems to be building this kind of sponsorship platform that allows creators to maybe wear the logo or to maybe represent the brand monthly instead of just one time. And that's one opportunity I've identified. Um, so if someone wants to steal it from me and build it, call me.
Can
But
we can we call, can we call fan stories the F1 of creator economy?
no, I wouldn't say so because we're too small. We're way too small to be considered. Um, we're way, way, way too small. Our competitors
For
are
now,
much
maybe.
bigger at this point.
Yeah, yeah.
But but maybe one day we'll find our position in the market. But at this moment, I would say, we have really strong players that do incredibly well.
That's a nice way of putting it. What long term impact you're looking or you're planning to leave on the creator economy by fan stories?
So I would like FanStories to be the platform that allowed creators to enjoy their life at the level that they deserve for what they are achieving or what they are providing to the world. And a lot of creators are still doing 9 to 5 jobs, and or which is not a bad thing. It's a really good thing. I'm not saying I do 9 to 5 in my own company, but what I want to say here is that a lot of creators are doing jobs when if they were able to put more time in their content creation career, they would have been much more successful and happier because that's what they are passionate about. But they are still obligated by the system to provide for their family or to provide for to pay the rent or the inflation, whatever they have to pay. They're still obligated to put too much time in what they are not passionate about.
Yeah,
So what I would like is either fan stories or other competitors or other players in the field is to allow them a platform to get out of that and to put all of their time into what they like, which is creating content.
wonderful. That's a great overview or towards life as well as people, because creators at the end of the day are people who can't
Yes,
do two things or multiple things at the same time.
that's
So,
true.
speaking of other people who do multiple things, startups. So, do you have any advice for someone getting started in business, especially tech startups?
So the first advice is, I think, if you start believing in yourself in a way, like a ferocious belief, where you understand and know that anything is possible and that we are the only one who can put barriers to ourselves. I think if you start believing in yourself at that level, well, you can achieve whatever you want. That's the truth. No matter if you know how to code, no matter if you know how to build a skyscraper, you can own a skyscraper. That's kind of like the mindset you should have. Um, and then just follow your passions. I would say it's a mixture of both. If you believe in yourself ferociously, at the point where some people might say you're literally crazy, but if you do, at some point, if you're passionate about a certain subject, and if you continue working towards it, no matter the hardship, well, the people who said you were crazy at some point will say you're a genius. And and I think these three qualities are important in any business. Anyone who wants to start a venture, believing in yourself, ferociously, literally, believing that everything is possible, working towards it, choosing a passion, and later down the line, people will say you're a genius. But at the end, you are you.
Right. That's the formula. That's a wonderful summarization. Last couple of things. They're basically, rituals that we do at the end of the interview. You have to tell us
Yeah.
what are you reading nowadays, and you have to nominate a person for the next episode.
So well, I would nominate my partner Shao. uh, I would say he could talk about other things than FanStories because my partner Shao has a huge company, like a really, really well company that's growing incredibly quickly in terms of like coding and web development.
Right.
He raised 1.8 million for his previous startup and did an exit. Now uh, he has so many things, and he's a creator with 3 million views on TikTok.
Wow.
Like
Okay.
he's the most productive guy I've ever met in my life. He has That's insane.
William, when they that meme which says like you get a partner who looks at you like this. So I would say at this point, get a partner or co-founder like William who speaks, about their co-founder like you, like you're talking
Yeah,
about.
you need to admire them. If you don't admire them, it's going to create issues. It's going to create like problems. If you admire them, what is there to fight about? I have the best guy I have ever met. So,
Well, we'll love to have him on the show. What are you reading nowadays?
so I'm not a big reader. That's a good question. I'm not a
Okay.
big reader. I would love to say that I read 12 books a year and that I'm super, but I don't read as much. I read on the internet while I'm working. I will read some reports about other companies. I will read about the industry. I will read online, but I rarely stop myself to read. Maybe I'm too addicted to social media. Maybe.
Well, thank you so much, William, for doing whatever you're doing for creators, creator economy, influencer marketing. You're bringing more clarity to this madness. You're building a method to this madness, and more power to you, to Fan Stories, and everyone who's using the platform. Please follow William on every platform. He's there, and check out Fan Stories. Sign up, and yeah, please follow us as well, and do let us know what you thought of this episode. You can let me know personally or William, or just comment down on the comment section. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shubham. Thank you for the invitation. Thank you, Philo. I love what you guys are doing. Keep it up.
Thank you so much again.
Impulse, the influencer marketing podcast, is brought to you by Phyllo. Phyllo is the easiest way to get access to authenticated creator data from hundreds of different platforms. To know more about Phyllo, visit getphyllo.com. That's getphylo.com. Also, make sure to search for Influencer Marketing Podcast in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or any of your favorite podcast listening platforms. And don't forget to click subscribe so you don't miss out on any future episodes. On behalf of the team here at Phyllo, thank you so much for listening.